Have you ever felt like your brain is constantly juggling too many tabs?
Oh, yeah.
Or just, drowning in emails, notifications?
That relentless pace, right.
Exactly. Just perpetually overwhelmed by today's, digitally connected work environment. Stress, distraction, burnout.
hmm
They're not just buzzwords anymore.
No, they're really the daily reality for so many people.
Well, today we're diving deep into mindfulness. It's this powerful evidence-based approach
Yeah, really emerging now.
as a vital tool for mental resilience and, frankly, effectiveness in the workforce.
hmm
This deep dive is built around a really comprehensive new paper from the Organization Development Journal, the July 2025 edition.
It pulls from a lot of different areas.
It does. Interdisciplinary research, professional insights, and this truly fascinating real-world case study, the Mindfulness Society in South Florida.
Really interesting stuff there.
So our mission today is to unpack the proven benefits for you, the employee, and for organizations.
And how to actually do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Explore practical ways to integrate it into your daily work life. Learn from concrete examples. Think of it as your shortcut to getting well-informed on this critical topic.
Sounds good.
Okay, so before we jump into all the benefits, what exactly are we talking about when we say mindfulness? How do you define it so it makes sense for someone, in the middle of a busy workday?
That's a great place to kick things off. At its core, mindfulness is simply the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental awareness of the present moment.
Non-judgmental. That seems key.
It really is. It's about paying steady, full attention without criticism to whatever you're experiencing right now, moment to moment.
So it's not just about relaxing.
Definitely helps with that. But no, it's much more foundational. Think of it as a mental capacity.
Right.
It supports your overall well-being, improves how you interact with others.
Interpersonal effectiveness.
Right, helps with employee retention, and yes, it even boosts productivity. It's quite broad.
Okay. And connecting this to the bigger picture, why is this practice becoming so crucial now? Especially with, constant digital connection, the rise of AI.
Exactly. I mean, the modern workplace is intense, isn't it?
Understatement.
Globalization, rapid tech changes, the constant pressure to be agile, it all leads to significant stress, distraction, burnout.
And the old ways aren't cutting it.
Well, we used to think physical health or maybe better time management would solve it, but those often fall short with the sheer cognitive and emotional demands we face now.
So mindfulness steps in as a counterbalance.
Precisely. It trains you to manage your attention, which is huge, to reduce those knee-jerk reactions we all have, and just stay grounded amidst the endless digital stuff, emails, messages, notifications, back-to-back virtual meetings.
The digital deluge.
Totally. Mindfulness cultivates that present-focused awareness and, importantly, emotional regulation. This enhances your resilience, your decision-making in these really high-tech, fast-paced settings. It's about equipping you to thrive, really.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me. Because this isn't just about, feeling a little bit calmer. The research has some truly compelling numbers.
Yeah.
Expert, what has the large-scale analysis revealed?
It's quite impressive, actually. There was a major meta-analysis that's pulled together 153 studies, over 12,000 participants.
Wow. Okay.
And it found some incredibly significant improvements. On average, psychological stress reduced by 30%.
30%. That's huge.
Isn't it? Think about that, nearly a third less stress you're carrying around.
Yeah. What else?
Job satisfaction saw increases between 13% and 22%.
Also very significant.
And moderate to large improvements in symptoms of anxiety and depression. Plus, this enhanced well-being and resilience wasn't just in one sector, like tech or something. No, it was across the board: healthcare, education, corporate environments, everywhere.
Wow. 30% stress reduction, noticeable jump in job satisfaction. That is powerful evidence.
Yeah.
What's fascinating is how these big findings translate into specific real-world results from actual programs. Can you give us a feel for that?
Absolutely. So one study looked at an 8-week program, mindfulness-based stress reduction, or MBSR, in a large British company.
Okay.
They saw significant reductions in perceived stress, psychological distress after the program, plus improvements in job satisfaction and work engagement.
So direct impact on how people felt about their jobs.
Exactly. And what's more, participants showed greater emotional intelligence, better interpersonal communication, especially in teams where the managers also participated.
So manager buy-in helps.
Big time.
Wow.
And these positive changes, they weren't just temporary. They stuck around. They were sustained for at least 3 months in the follow-up.
So it's not just a quick fix that fades away. That's key.
Right. Lasting benefits.
Any other examples of how, like, daily mindfulness plays out? Not just an 8-week course, but day to day.
Yes. Another really compelling study tracks 64 employees over 10 working days.
Okay, shorter time frame.
Right, but looking at daily practice, it showed that daily mindfulness was consistently linked to less emotional exhaustion, which is basically burnout,
Less burnout, definitely important.
and higher job satisfaction and better task performance rated by their supervisors.
So managers actually saw a difference.
They did. And participants also reported better detachment from work during their off hours.
Ooh, that's huge for work-life balance.
Isn't it? Being able to actually switch off, these studies really highlight the measurable, tangible impact mindfulness can have day in and day out.
Okay, so let's unpack this for you, the listener.
Ugh.
What does this all mean for your daily experience at work? Beyond the impressive numbers, how does mindfulness actually help with, the feeling of information overload or maybe team friction?
Well, let's break it down. On the cognitive and emotional side, mindfulness is almost like a supercharger for your brain.
Okay, how so?
It enhances your attention, your memory, your decision-making. If you've ever felt like your brain has like a dozen tabs open.
All the time.
Right. Mindfulness helps close some of those tabs. It fosters greater situational awareness and reduces that constant mind wandering.
The wandering mind.
Exactly. It actually improves your working memory and executive function. That's your mental control center, right? For juggling tasks, staying on track, essential for problem solving, especially in these dynamic workplaces.
So it's not just calming, it genuinely makes you sharper in a way.
In a very practical way, yes.
And what about stress? That's probably the biggest pain point for most people listening.
Absolutely. For stress reduction, mindfulness-based approaches consistently show effectiveness. The key is how it works.
Okay.
It helps break that cycle of chronic stress by shifting you from an automatic reactive response.
Like snapping back in an email.
Exactly. Shifting from that to a more thoughtful, reflective response, this builds greater resilience to workplace stressors.
So you don't get triggered as easily.
Or when you do, you handle it differently. And it significantly reduces your likelihood of burnout. It changes how you relate to stress.
That shift from reactive to reflective, that sounds incredibly powerful.
It is. It takes practice, but it's powerful.
But it's not just about individual benefits, is it? How does this play into our relationships and team dynamics at work? That can be a huge source of stress, too.
Oh, absolutely transforms relationships. Mindfulness fosters more positive interactions through better communication.
Like what kind of communication?
Think active listening, really hearing someone, not just planning your response, empathy, and crucially, less knee-jerk reactivity in conversations.
Less arguing, maybe.
Or more productive disagreement, perhaps. And mindful leaders. They're better equipped to manage conflict, to cultivate trust within their teams.
Trust is huge.
Essential. Plus, studies show mindfulness enhances pro-social behaviors, things like compassion, cooperation. That leads directly to improved collaboration, especially when things get stressful.
So healthier relationships, more productive teams. And how does this scale up, like to leadership and the overall company culture?
Well, mindful leaders tend to exhibit greater emotional intelligence, more ethical sensitivity, and just clearer thinking under pressure.
They set the tone.
Exactly. They model calmness and clarity. This promotes psychological safety. People feel safer speaking up, sharing ideas.
Which boosts innovation.
Right, and open communication. For HR leaders, this is, well, it's a potential game changer. They can leverage mindfulness to boost overall performance, reduce stress across the board, encourage civility.
And stay competitive, presumably.
Absolutely. In a world demanding constant adaptation, this inner stability is a competitive advantage.
Okay, this makes a ton of sense individually and for teams.
Now, this raises an interesting question. If mindfulness often feels like a very individual internal practice, why does the paper emphasize it as a communal learning process?
Right, that stood out to me too.
This is where the South Florida Mindfulness Society offers some really crucial insights. The paper talks about this idea of a community of practice.
Okay, what's that?
It's essentially a group of people who share a common interest or passion, in this case, mindfulness, and they learn and improve together as they interact regularly.
So learning from each other, not just a teacher.
Exactly. Peer learning, shared experience, support. It's powerful.
And the paper mentions this communal learning has deep roots, right? It's not a new corporate trend.
Not at all. It's fascinating, actually. This idea resonates strongly with ancient Indian spiritual texts through a concept called satsang.
Satsang.
Yeah, it literally means something like gathering together for truth. It's the practice of bringing like-minded people together to facilitate learning towards a common goal, often guided by an experienced teacher or mentor, a guru in that tradition.
Okay.
And it emphasizes not just intellectual discussion, but really practical application, taking the ideas and living them.
And the Mindfulness Society in South Florida kind of embodied this.
It seems so. It was started back in 2017 at Nova Southeastern University. Their mission was explicitly about facilitating study and practice, developing self-awareness, leadership qualities, and fostering innovative self-development.
And they reached a lot of people.
They really did. Over 23 events, more than 2,200 participants.
Yeah.
Quite impactful.
So how do they actually deliver this communal experience? Because that could provide a roadmap for others, maybe in companies or even just informal groups.
Yeah, they used primarily 3 formats, according to the paper. First, seminars.
Okay.
These were introductory sessions, usually up to 90 minutes, often brought to existing audiences, like a graduate class conducted by someone knowledgeable, sort of dipping a toe in.
Got it. Then what?
Then there were workshops. These were longer, more detailed sessions. They focused on specific relevant themes like mindfulness for HR or mindful leadership or work-life balance.
And people chose to come to these.
Right. Participants attended voluntarily, so they already had some interest and commitment. And the sizes varied quite a bit, from almost 200 people at a big global financial firm
Wow.
down to smaller, maybe more intimate groups of 15, sometimes organized by job function.
Tailored.
Exactly. And finally, study groups. These were for the really motivated folks, people wanting to go deeper, continue studying and practicing together.
Like a book club, but for mindfulness.
Kind of, yeah. They met bi-weekly, did in-depth reading, discussed foundational principles, often drawing from Vedic traditions.
And you mentioned yoga earlier. How did that fit in?
Yeah, the society's activities were rooted in a holistic view of yoga, going way beyond just the physical postures, hatha yoga.
Right, not just downward dog.
Exactly. The word yoga itself comes from yuj, meaning to yoke or to unite. It suggests this union of the individual self with something larger, a supreme consciousness.
Okay, that's a deeper layer.
It is. And the paper mentions they drew from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, specifically the 8 limbs of yoga, or Ashtanga yoga.
The 8 limbs. Can you give us a quick overview? Sounds important.
Sure. It's seen as a progressive inward journey. It starts with yama external disciplines like non-injury, truthfulness, then niyama internal disciplines like austerity, self-study.
Okay, ethical foundations first.
Right. Then asana physical posture, the part most people know, followed by pranayama breath control, working with vital energy.
Breath is key in mindfulness too.
Absolutely central. Then pratyahara, withdrawing the senses inward. Dharana, concentration, focusing the mind. Dhyana, which is meditation itself. And finally, samadhi integration, that state of union.
Wow. That's comprehensive.
It is, and the key is they're interconnected, practiced simultaneously, not just sequential steps.
And the society catered to different learning styles too, right?
Yeah, they acknowledge different yogic paths for different temperaments, karma yoga for the action-oriented, bhakti yoga for the devotional type, and jnana yoga for the knowledge seekers, trying to meet people where they are.
That makes sense. To make it even more concrete, can you walk us through what a typical guided meditation session might have looked like in one of their workshops? What were the key elements someone could try?
Absolutely. A common session, based on the paper's description, might start simply with posture.
Getting comfortable.
Right. Settling into an erect but comfortable sitting position, eyes gently closed, body relaxed, just setting the stage. Then, maybe a conscious body massage. This isn't physical massage, but mentally scanning your body part by part, from feet up to the head.
Noticing tension.
Exactly. And consciously releasing any tension you find. Letting go.
Nice. What's next?
Conscious breathing. Simply becoming aware of your natural breath, maybe feeling it at the tip of your nose or the rise and fall of your abdomen, not trying to control it, just noticing it.
Anchor.
It often is. Then calming the mind. This is where you observe thoughts as they flow by without getting caught up in them, becoming like a silent witness to your own internal landscape.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, definitely. It's a practice. And finally, experiencing inner silence, allowing yourself, even for brief moments, to just rest in the quiet space that can arise when thoughts naturally subside.
Wow.
It's like getting a taste of your essential calm nature beneath all the mental noise,
Yeah.
cultivating that inner stillness.
That sounds really centering.
It can be. And doing it together in a group can amplify that feeling.
So let's talk about the impact. What's truly fascinating here is how the paper shows the Mindfulness Society's effects at multiple levels, right?
Yeah.
Moving beyond just one person feeling calmer.
Absolutely. They categorized the lessons learned. At the individual level, they saw a real surge in interest, active dialogues, and we heard powerful quotes.
Like the one about stress reduction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That participant who was initially skeptical but shared how the calmness induced in me has significantly reduced overall stress in my life, especially when I engage in mindfulness practice when stressed. That's a direct personal impact.
A very strong testimony. How did this play out in groups?
Well, at the group level, something really cool happened. They did a 21-day social media meditation challenge.
Okay, using tech.
Right. But it was meant to be temporary, and it just kept going for months. It really enhanced motivation and group integration. One participant called it an unsolicited affirmation of group processes as integration of the group.
So the community itself took ownership.
It did. Members even started recruiting new participants, naturally forming new cohorts. It was completely organic growth.
That really speaks to the power of community, doesn't it?
It really does.
And what about the bigger picture? At the institutional or organizational level?
At the institutional level, mindfulness wasn't just like a fringe activity. It got integrated into actual course content at the university.
Wow.
And it started redefining leadership, shifting the focus from ambition just for self to ambition for something larger than self.
That's a profound shift.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And the founder, the guru figure, was invited to teach at local firms, including that global multi-billion-dollar financial organization.
Right, the STF participant quote.
Yes, where the participant called it excellent, enriching mindfulness training, praising the interactive format, the guided meditation, the parables, the real-life examples. It showed clear value to serious organizations.
So from personal calm to organizational training and redefining leadership.
Yeah.
It really spanned the spectrum. Any impact on, like, knowledge or understanding more broadly?
Yeah, that was interesting too. At the knowledge level, the dialogue naturally expanded into discussions about religious pluralism, finding common ground across different faiths.
How did that come up?
Well, one participant reflected after watching a Netflix series on the Buddha, saying, I felt in my heart a liberating sense of towering empathy for other religions. I really felt that if I try to find commonality across religions, it is all one and the same universal religion. Seeing that unity in diversity.
So mindfulness opened up broader perspectives.
It seemed to. Observations also showed, maybe predictably, that longer sessions led to deeper inner peace, and in-person events felt more immersive.
But virtual still worked.
Virtual sessions were effective, yeah, but maybe a bit more individualized in experience, different formats for different outcomes.
Okay, so this South Florida example is really compelling. But if you're listening and wondering, is this just a local thing? Does this stuff work in the big leagues? Well, this raises an important question. Have other major corporations seen similar results?
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely not just a local phenomenon. The trend is global, and the results are there in big companies too.
Like who? Give us some examples.
Well, think about Google. Their Search Inside Yourself program, SIY, is pretty famous now.
Right, I've heard of that.
They integrated mindfulness, emotional intelligence, leadership training. Participants reported reduced stress, better emotional regulation, more empathy, better communication, stronger leadership. It became a core part of their development culture.
Okay, Google. Who else?
How about General Mills? They've had a mindful leadership program since way back in 2006.
Since 2006. Wow.
Yeah, started with senior executives. Participants reported things like a 20% increase in productivity, a 32% improvement in decision-making clarity,
32% clearer decisions. That's huge for a business.
and a 19% increase in listening quality. Imagine the impact of leaders actually listening better.
Game-changing. One more.
Let's look at Aetna, the insurance giant. They had a corporate wellness program using mindfulness and yoga for over 13,000 employees.
13,000. That's scale.
That's real scale. They reported a 28% reduction in stress, a 20% improvement in sleep quality,
Better sleep. Everyone wants that.
and a 19% decrease in pain levels. Aetna even put a number on it. They estimated an average productivity gain of $3,000 per employee per year.
Wow. So these aren't just soft, fuzzy benefits. There's a real bottom line impact, too.
Exactly. These are large-scale, measurable impacts from major, serious corporations. The evidence is pretty strong.
Okay. The evidence is there.
But this also raises, an important practical question. The benefits are clear, but how do organizations actually do this effectively? How do they integrate mindfulness without it just being like superficial mindfulness washing.
Right, like just putting bean bags in a room isn't enough.
Exactly. And maybe, host, you can also walk us through what you as an individual listening can actually start doing.
Absolutely. Let's get into that. First, on the organizational side, you're right. The paper really cautions against that superficial approach, just ticking a box.
Which can dilute the impact.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. And some employees might even get skeptical if they see it as just another way for the company to say, here, you cope better with the crazy workload, instead of addressing the workload itself.
That's a fair critique sometimes. Need for genuine change.
And the paper also notes we need more research, longer-term studies, research specific to different industries.
Definitely. But based on what we know, a strategic approach is critical. Mindfulness needs to be thoughtfully woven into broader employee development, into organizational change efforts, not just a standalone perk.
So what are the keys to success, then, for a company trying to do this right?
Well, embedding it into daily routines is huge. Brief guided practices at the start of the day, maybe mindful check-ins during team meetings, even just encouraging reflective pauses.
Okay, normal.
Exactly. Structured programs can work well too, adapting things like mindfulness-based cognitive therapy for the workplace context.
And technology.
Technology helps scale it. Mindfulness apps, virtual sessions, these offer flexible options, especially for remote or hybrid teams.
What about leadership? You mentioned that earlier.
Leadership involvement is absolutely critical. When leaders participate and champion it, it legitimizes mindfulness as a valuable organizational asset, not just some wellness fluff.
It sends a message.
A big one. And HR departments are key partners. They should be incorporating mindfulness into wellness programs, sure, but also maybe performance reviews, leadership development curricula.
Really integrating it.
Yes. And finally, tailoring is essential. Programs need to be culturally sensitive, contextually relevant, avoid a one-size-fits-all approach, frame it holistically, resilience, focus, connection, not just stress reduction.
That's a fantastic framework for organizations wanting to do this authentically. Now, let's pivot. For you, the listener, what are some concrete, practical steps you can take, maybe starting today or this week, to bring more mindfulness into your own work life?
Let's get practical.
Okay, for daily practices, here are some actionable ideas. Simple stuff. 1, just begin each day with maybe 5-10 minutes of mindful breathing. Just sit and breathe before the chaos starts. It really sets a calm tone.
Simple, but effective.
2, use the SPAY technique when you feel stressed. It's an acronym. Stop, take a breath, observe what's happening internally, then proceed. It's like a mini reset button.
Great and heat at the moment.
3, practice single tasking. I know, easier said than done. But resist the urge to constantly jump between emails, chat, and your actual work. Focus on one thing at a time.
That alone is a mindfulness practice.
4, take mindful breaks, like a short walk, maybe every couple of hours. Step away from the screen, notice your surroundings.
Get out of your head and into your body.
5, try mindful eating at lunch. Put the phone away, close the laptop. Actually taste your food. Notice the textures, the smells.
Instead of inhaling it while typing.
6, maybe start meetings with just a 1-minute breathing pause. It can really center everyone before diving into the agenda.
Shifts the energy in the room.
7, use mindful communication. This means truly active listening, like we talked about. Trying to understand, not just waiting for your turn to speak.
Big impact on relationships.
8, consider practicing gratitude journaling at the end of your workday. Just jotting down 1 or 2 things you're thankful for. It really shifts perspective.
Focuses on the positive.
9, engage in brief body scans during the day. Just take 30 seconds to mentally check in. Where am I holding tension? Shoulders, jaw, and consciously relax it.
Builds body awareness.
10, and related to single tasking, try to avoid multitasking during digital communication. If you're on a call, be on the call. If you're writing an email, write the email. Give it your full attention.
Quality over quantity.
Okay, those are daily things.
Yeah.
What about weekly practices if you're ready to go a bit deeper?
Building consistency.
Yeah. 1, maybe attend or even host a short mindfulness group session, 20-30 minutes, maybe with interested colleagues. That communal aspect helps.
Learning together.
2, block off dedicated focus time on your calendar and fiercely protect it. Treat it like an important meeting.
Essential for deep work.
3, set weekly mindful intentions. Simple things like, this week I will try to go into challenging meetings with an open mind, or I will practice pausing before reacting.
That's a direction.
Reflect on emotional triggers. When did you get upset or stressed this week? Journal about it. What happened? How did it feel? How did you react?
Learning from experience.
5, Practice a longer guided meditation, maybe 20, 30 minutes once a week. Lots of great apps and online resources for this.
Deeper practice.
6. Try holding walking meetings outdoors if possible. Fresh air, movement, less formal can spark different thinking.
Changes the dynamics.
7. Schedule a tech-free hour sometime during the week. Completely unplug, no phone, no email, no screen, see what happens.
Radical these days.
It feels like it. 8. Participate in mindfulness-based training or webinars. There's so many available online now, often focused on workplace skills.
Continuing education.
9. Encourage team mindfulness challenges, maybe based on some of these daily practices. Make it a shared, supportive journey.
Builds camaraderie.
10. And finally, check in with your team or colleagues mindfully. Instead of just, what are you working on? Try asking, how are you really feeling today? Or how's your energy?
Fosters deeper connection.
So lots of practical ideas there, hopefully. As we've explored today, mindfulness, when it's authentically integrated, really serves as this powerful tool, enhancing mental clarity, emotional balance, ethical conduct, overall resilience.
All crucial in our complex, digitally driven work lives.
Exactly. And the benefits span the individual, the team, and the whole organization.
And there's a final provocative thought from that Mindfulness Society experience that really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It's this idea that the deepest insights, the real quintessence of mindfulness study, reveal a kind of serenity and conviction that comes when your ambition for yourself starts to transform.
Into what?
Into an ambition for something larger than yourself. And related to that, the idea that being and knowing become one and the same only in the communal learning process, not in a solitary pursuit.
Wow. Okay, ambition beyond self and knowing through community. That's deep.
It really is. It challenges that purely individualistic view of self-improvement.
So a final thought for you listening. What does this profound idea mean for how you approach your own well-being and your contribution at work? And maybe how might you seek out or even help foster these kinds of communities of practice in your own life?
Something to definitely consider as you go about your week.